What up, Spect here. Now, I have a brand new story for you, and this story is insane. Like, what happens is just fucking maniacal. So I hope you stick around to hear this one till things get crazy. So just humor me for a second while I build up to what actually happened. Now, my last video got about 4 to 5 likes, which is really cool, considering that this channel was just birthed like a couple days ago, so I really hope you enjoy this story and the stories to come. In case you don't know what the Rainbow Gathering is, it's basically this huge-ass hippie festival that takes place across the world at different locations and times, and this particular year, about 2 years ago, it was in Utah. Now, if you saw my first video, The Drum Circle Shaman, you will know exactly what a drum circle is like. Now take that little Salt Lake drum circle and times it by about 1,000, and you get Rainbow Fest. Let's just say there's about 10,000 people going. I didn't even know what the hell this event was all about until my hipster sister Shannon tells me all about it. She didn't really give me a whole lot of detail regarding on how exactly we would be getting to the gathering, except for that we would be driving into the mountains and camping out in the woods for about a week with these gigantic drum circles and fire spinning shows and all that shit. So I'm like, okay, sounds pretty legit. What could possibly go wrong, right? I decided to invite one of my good friends, Jake, who's playing as Nova in Here's of the Storm right now. He's named Jake Marty. So this motherfucker loved the drum circle in Salt Lake, so I told him all about Rainbow, and he was more than down to join the fun. Also my girlfriend, Allie, who's now my ex, and a bunch of her friends were also going to the festival. So it's about 3 days until we actually leave. Jake and I hit up Walmart, buy a shitload of food and drinks, and get ready for our big adventure. We pack up our 32-inch djembes, we had 2 of them, and of course, the most important element, weed. Now we aren't talking like a little bit of ganj, no, we're talking about a fuckload of like this dank-ass shit, like half an ounce, okay? The day finally comes to leave, so we start driving, following in a pack of about 5 cars. When we drive up into the mountains, where the road starts to turn to dirt, things start to get a little sketchy. We're driving up the road when we see some long-haired hippie guys waving their arms and yelling at us. It's a warning. Apparently up the road around the corner, there's a bunch of cops busting and arresting people, and this is where I find out, hey, the Rainbow Gathering is completely illegal. I kind of start to get a little panicky because we have so much danky in our car. Now, while stopped, Jake and I get out of the car and start chatting with everyone. One of Shannon's friends, Shawnee, is willing to hide everyone's weed in the trunk of her car. So everyone stashes their goodies away when all of a sudden the long-haired dudes tell us that the cops were busy busting someone else up the road, so we had a slight chance to sneak by in our cars. We barely make it past the cops as I look out the window and see 2 dudes in handcuffs arguing with the cops while the cops had their backs turned away from us. We eventually get to the parking area and start setting up. We put the back seat down and pop the trunk up and lay out some blankets, making a little bed in the back of Jake's car. So we're just chilling in the car when I notice everyone is standing outside, like ready to go somewhere. When I found out Shannon kinda didn't tell me that we had to hike 3 miles into the forest to actually get to the gathering. So Jake and I are kind of just sitting there like butt-fucked because we just spent like $150 and planned the whole trip to be in our car. There's no way we could carry all our food, drums, and other shit like 3 miles with no shelter to sleep in. So we decide, fuck it, we'll just stay in the parking lot and maybe hike out in the morning. So a little bit of time goes by, and we're just chilling in the car, playing djembe, when I hear some weird noises outside. I look out the window, and about 3 cars over, there's fucking cops just with their lights on, busting people. And meanwhile, I'm sitting there smoking weed out of a pipe with our big-ass pile of ganja just sitting out in the open, and they're coming to our car next. So I start like freaking the fuck out. My hands are shaking everywhere as I grab the weed and lift up the back seats and throw it under. I get out of the car and I look around, and there's just cops everywhere. That's when we decide, alright, we need to get the fuck out of here. So Jake starts the car and we drive out of the parking lot, headed back down the bumpy dirt road when we see this drunken guy like stumbling around the middle of the road right in our way. He's literally right in front of us with his hands on the hood of the car, talking gibberish and shit. I don't even know what he was saying. It was fucking weird. He comes to the side of the car, and Jake, for some godforsaken reason, fucking rolls down the window and starts talking to him. And the guy's like, I don't fucking know what he was saying, alright? And I'm like, no, what the fuck are you doing, dude? We gotta get out of here. And then we slowly drive off as the guy hangs on the window and stumbles away behind us. We start making our way back home when a brilliant idea strikes me. hey, why don't we just go camp somewhere else in the mountains, right? I mean, we have all this food and shit, right? So let's just go do it. So we're driving, and we see this shitty-ass, like, rocky dirt road that goes up into this cool little spot where we eventually spent the night. So all safe and sound up in our little camp, we hotbox the car and get super high. Then later, when things start to die down, the sun's going down, we decide to get some sleep. So we're just sleeping, at least trying to sleep, with our headphones in, listening to some nice music, when suddenly, we start feeling a vibration sensation. It was enough to wake us both up. It was a motherfucking helicopter that flew straight over us, super low to the ground. We watched it disappear over the trees and didn't really think much of it. We go back to sleep. The helicopter comes back and starts hovering directly over us, shaking the car while we were still high as fuck. Then a huge-ass spotlight shines right on us, and the helicopter starts circling us, keeping the spotlight directly on our car. We start freaking the fuck out, looking out the window as the helicopter circled us about 5 times before flying about 100 yards over to the main road, where the helicopter starts descending, lower and lower, about to fucking land. I thought they were gonna come get us. By this time, my heart is beating so fast, I grab our weed, I jump out of the car, stashing it in a nearby bush, and start listening very carefully for the helicopter. It didn't seem to land, and eventually, after listening for the helicopter's engine running for about 10 minutes, it finally came back up off the ground and flew away. We were about ready to start running through the forest, afraid that they might have dropped off a fucking SWAT team or something. After staying awake all night, scared to death, with our hearts pounding, the sun finally came up, and we got the fuck out of there. And yeah, we came back home safe and sound with a ton of extra food and had a LAN party at Jake's house. From what I heard from my friends at the actual gathering, it was like the greatest experience ever. Except for the fact that there were cops on horses riding around busting people. But yeah, anyways, hope you enjoyed the video. It was a lot of fun making it. Be sure to leave a like if you did. And yeah, see ya.
Yeah.